everyone, this is Jackie Williams, and in this video I want to share with you the Abundant Beauty Masks, how to use them. We'll do a project and then I have some additional samples to share with you at the end. So you may have seen online many of the samples with this set of masks use this set of floral masks, which I will share with you in our example today. But also included in this pack is a leaf mask, this kind of herringbone print, and a snowflake one. So you get all of that in the same pack. So let's start out by using these floral masks. Now I'm going to do our project today on Berry Vanilla. The masks are numbered, so you've got the number 1 there and then the 2, and you'll notice that it's also next to a little notch, which is very helpful. It's also helpful to have the number not only so you know what order to do them in, but then you know that you are using the right side. So for example, if you use that side, the leaves may not line up as they should. So what I'm going to do is place my flowers here, and I'm going to just put them on an angle just to show you as an example to use this little notch here. And I'm just going to use my orange pen, and I might even just do these ones here so that I know when I set my other layers down, if I match up that notch and I have it the correct way up, that it's all going to line up perfectly. Now I think for my flowers, I'm going to use copper clay, Moody Mauve, and Calypso Coral. You certainly do not have to use 3 colors or even 2 colors, but that's what I want to do today. So I'm going to start with Calypso Coral, and I always like to get a little bit off before I start. I'm just going to go around the very tips of the petals first, and I'll keep those fairly light. And now we'll go for Moody Mauve. And I'll just put a little bit of that color in through the middle of the flower. And then I'll use a bit of copper clay. And every time you do this, they're going to turn out differently. But I do quite like how that looks. Now they suggest doing the leaves next. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the center of the flowers next. So I'm just going to line up that notch. I'm going to use a bit of Blackberry Bliss in the middle of my flowers. And then for the detail of the flowers, I will use Early Espresso. And now we can go ahead and add the leaves. And I have Old Olive on my brush, but I accidentally dipped it into a bit of brown. Now for our project, I want one more leaf, so I'm just gonna do another one over here. Now as an added thing you can do, which I did show in a previous video, is you can lay that flower over the top, the flower mask over the top. In this spritzer, I have isopropyl alcohol and a few drops of Wink Stella. And I'm just gonna spritz that through the mask. So I've just got some shimmer spray right on the flowers. And it could potentially also just add a little bit of a watercolory look to the flowers, but the ink might have dried too much for that to happen on this particular sample. Now you can use this just like this and make a card front or a box or whatever it is you're making. For this sample that I'm going to do today, I've actually cut out the pieces just using my scissors, and they actually cut out pretty quickly because it's all fairly straight edges. But I do have a sample to show you at the end where I've just used it as is without any cutting out. So I've prepared a card base with crumb cake, and I have embossed the background with the new Distress Tile folder, and I did put a little bit of Versamark right into the folder, so that gives me that dimension there. But I would like to also just use my white ink pad and just add a little bit more on top. Now this will dry a little bit lighter than it is, but actually I quite like it even like that. And I'm just gonna put a little piece of Berry Vanilla, just very slightly on an angle, and then this embossed piece of crumb cake. So we're just seeing a little bit of vanilla on the sides, not too much. Now I've created a ring, and I have used 2 of the circles from the Stylish Shapes dies and run them through together. And you'll get something like this. And then you don't need this, you can save that for a label on another project. And what I want to use is this ring here. And I'm just gonna put that about here on the project. And I'm gonna use my copper clay pen and just do 1 or 2 little flicks there of some color on the background. And then I'm just going to build my flowers on the front. Now for some twine, I'm going to use the wavy trim, and I'm just going to pull a couple of those threads out. I like this trim because the color is a little bit richer than linen thread, and it's also a little bit wavy, so it's got some texture to it. And I've just tied 2 threads together in a bow. And we'll just put that onto the project for now. And I have heat embossed a hello out of Blackberry Bliss, which is the color that we use for the center of our flowers, although it's much lighter with the ink. But I still think all the colors tone in nicely. I think I'll use the Moody Mauve speckled dots. Now the inspiration for this card came from about 3 samples I found on Pinterest that I really liked, and just kind of combine the different elements of the things I liked all together. So I appreciate my fellow crafters for their inspiration. And there you go. So here is a sample that I made earlier, and you can see I actually used cherry cobbler on the flowers, and this one is more the copper clay, so it's got a different effect. And then I used a petal pink card base instead. So either one, which one do you like better? I think both of them have a great mood to them. Now I've got some other samples to share with you. So this is actually one I did a video for, so you can have a look for that also on my channel. So this is just a 1-layer card where I've done the flowers just right onto the card base. There's no cutting out or anything, and then stamped and also inked up the envelope. Same with this one. And I did do that spritzing through the mask, and you can see the nice speckling there, particularly on the envelope. And then for this one, I thought I'd make a Christmas card, just something a little bit different, sort of some non-traditional sort of images, but I think it's quite nice, particularly if you're sending a card to someone who celebrates Christmas during the summertime. And then this one, it was actually made by my team member Yvonne Walker, and I thought it was just so nice. Now she has used that autumn mask in the background, and then did the flowers in, you know, the more pool party and turquoise shades for a very different look. And for this sample, I have used, instead of the flowers, done the leaf background, and just made a little top to the card, and then added some embellishments from the autumn leaves bundle. And then I thought I would try and do some Christmas cards too. So this one's just a really nice, kind of a modern Christmas card with the black and the crumb cake and the old olive. And I've paired that snowflake background with the Forever Forest dies. And this one will be part of my 12 weeks series, so be sure to sign up for my email list. The link is below this video if you would like to join in for that. And then this card is actually a sample right out of the catalog. I've changed it just a little bit, but really only just a little. And we're using that berry Christmas paper and adding the snowflakes with white embossing using the mask, and then just adding some nice contrasting words. So there you have it. I hope that inspires you to use your Abundant Beauty masks for many different occasions. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Jackie Williams. Please subscribe to this video, and if you know someone who would enjoy this as well, please share with them. I always appreciate that. And leave me a comment, and I'll see you next video. This is Jackie. Bye-bye.